we Relationships Australia Victoria acknowledge the Bunurong people as the traditional owners of the lands and waterways where we stand. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and recognize and value the ongoing contributions that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people make in our communities every day. I would also like to acknowledge any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be joining us for this online event, and I pay my respects to their lands, waterways, and ancestors. It is on this beautiful and welcome lands that I arrived on a cold night in July 2007, whose First Peoples welcomed me like one to whom they had been entrusted, and I now call home. The land continues to nurture me, the sun that gives warmth, the wind that brings about seasons for change, the waterways that give life, and the soil that brings forth food. The spirit of the nation and its peoples, whose cultures are reminiscent of the Bemba people of Zambia, who migrated from the Great Luba Empire, now called Democratic Republic of Congo. And the Ndebele people of Zimbabwe, who are an offshoot of the Great Zulu Kingdom, of the Great Warrior Shaka of South Africa, which are my ancestors. It is on this country that many like myself continue to thrive and draw strength from, a land whose sovereignty has never been ceded. Thank you.
We at Relationships Australia Victoria would like to acknowledge the victim survivors of family violence, those who have come forward and spoken their truth, which gives us an evidence base from which to learn and to grow. We would also like to acknowledge those whose voices were silenced, those whose lives were lost and whose truths were never heard.
I'm pleased to present to you today an innovative new service we're introducing in the southeast of Melbourne. I don't need to tell you how challenging the time is for all of us at the moment in this period of pandemic. And as you'll hear, this new service is designed to assist those who are particularly challenged by these times. In March 2021, Vic Health invited organisations to apply for the Reimagining Health, a Vic Health partnership grant, which sought to fund projects that support children and young people and Victorians that are hardest hit by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. This included those already facing greater barriers to reaching their full health potential, barriers such as income barriers, cultural background, gender, age, or where they live. So we're very pleased to have been successful in our application for this funding. The grant seeks to support a number of Victorians, including women and girls, single parents, and people from culturally and diverse backgrounds. For RAV in the southeast, this was an opportunity to build on the existing services delivered by the organisation to women and children affected by family violence by providing a group program that we're calling You Are Not Alone to help reduce social isolation and provide women with a safe space to talk about family violence. Unfortunately, the City of Casey has the highest incidence of family violence in Victoria, and so the need in the area is very great. This is a way that RAV, we can continue to support our local communities and develop place-based initiatives to meet the needs of the communities we work with. The Southeast also boasts a very vibrant, culturally diverse community, and this program aims to be culturally inclusive and will be staffed by our diverse workforce. Thank you.
We know that regardless of background and circumstances, that family violence can happen to anyone. We also know that Victorians from diverse communities do face additional barriers when accessing the support they need. Here in Cranbourne, we're incredibly proud of our vibrant and multicultural community. In fact, it's our diversity that makes us strong. But it does mean our social services need to be tailored to those who live here. And that means with a variety of people in workforces who come from different backgrounds and cultures and who speak different languages. Our social services need to reflect us too. It's been 5 years since the Royal Commission into Family Violence handed down its recommendations, and at the time we committed to implement every single one of them. Since then, our government, the Andrews Labor government, has invested more than $3.5 billion to drive this reform, and 2/3 of the 227 recommendations have been implemented, and the remaining ones are well underway. So we've come a long way, but we've got some work that still needs to be done. We know that women and children who have experienced family violence still experience social isolation and barriers to accessing the support they need to live safely and to live free from violence. Our dedicated family violence workforce, the victims, survivors and the Victorian Government are working together to make sure all families have access to the support they need. Relationships Australia does invaluable work. They provide access to counselling, link women and families with local services. They empower women to access the support they need, not only to build safe and stable lives, but to thrive, which is what everyone deserves. We know that family violence won't stop until we change the attitudes and behaviour that lead to it. And that's why Relationships Australia are doing work with men using violence. They're providing targeted interventions to help them change their behaviour and provide support to affected family members. It's actually critical to breaking that cycle of violence. In fact, Relationships Australia are the only providers of men's behaviour change programs in Cranbourne. So we all have a role to do in ending family violence. And I'm really proud that our government, the Andrews Labor government, is partnering with our strong community and social services sector. And we're going to ensure that no matter who you are or where you live, that help is available. Thanks so much for everything you do. Please look after each other. These are difficult times.
In the You Are Not Alone program, we aim to bring together women from diverse backgrounds and cultures to form a bond and connection within their differences and their similarities in supporting each other moving forward. The program is free, online support group for women who have been impacted by family violence and would like to join with other women to express themselves as well as regain their sense of self through learning, sharing, connecting and creating.
In our work with women, there has been consistent feedback from women who have attended similar groups that it is a helpful way to learn more about their rights and support options and to rebuild their identity and begin to heal. In this group, there will be a chance to talk about your experiences and to learn from others. We will talk about developing or building upon strategies for strengthening resilience, rebuilding or establishing trust in your family, and understanding family violence and its impacts on women and their children. We will support in learning strategies to create or re-establish appropriate parent-child relationships and skills to manage and support children's behaviours and emotions. We will use positive and strength-based approaches in moving forward.
Similar themes come out in our work with women of feeling alone, disconnected, and being isolated due to what they have experienced as a result of their abuse. Their feelings of isolation have been significantly worsened with the current pandemic, restrictions, and lockdowns. In our conversations with affected family members, there is so much grief around the loss of hopes and dreams of what they wanted compared to what their journeys have been. There is often so much vulnerability and strength, which is frequently portrayed to them to be weakness by the person who perpetrated the abuse, so much so that it becomes their own narrative.
Questions we often hear are, how do I get out of this? Or how can I support him? Or how did I not see it? So much focus and energy goes into either trying to support their partner or in leaving the relationship and still trying to manage different tactics of abuse following their separation, that their own needs and wants become invisible and forgotten. These numerous factors have been the drivers for us putting together the You Are Not Alone group to support in connecting with each other and reduce the feeling of isolation and aloneness, to bring women together to learn they are not alone and gain support from each other.